What's good, YouTube? And welcome to Primite Watch. Jokes aside, this card has been constantly featured over the last couple of months, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, never underestimate the impact a structure deck can do to past format support. Primite Lordly Loathe used to be a $10 playset and is now a $260+ playset with very few options under $88 if you're buying, and most people are starting to spend right around that. So many sales in the range. And then Primite Dragon Ether Barrel is also going up. Supreme Darkness is so thirsty for value, and this is starting to become the star of the show at $35. Now, I do always eat my L's here on the channel. I was wrong about Mulcharmy Meows. It is also steadily hanging in there. As I've already mentioned, it finds instant success within this format despite being format dependent, but I do feel like the Primite engine really speaks to how excited people are for this and are willing to spend cash for the Blue Eyes deck. I haven't seen hype for this around Yu-Gi-Oh! In a long time. A lot of us suspected it would do that, but so many people in the comment section were also really divided on if it would pan out. Will it get results? It already is, but people were naysaying, saying the TCG couldn't clear the way for it in that sense, that the ban list wouldn't be as favorable. Here it is. For the representation, is it getting the results it should? We'll have to wait and see for actual huge top cuts, but it is already getting results. Also, the structure deck itself, we see the quarter century secret rares repopulating. I think this makes sense because with that very top end, people are chasing after that, and when they get it, it's a huge rebate, a ton of free staples, free, you gambled for it, but still, when you hit it big, you manage to make it. And then also the secret rares are continuing to go down in quantities. As I mentioned, I think you'll see the most of them for a while right now because people will want to mid-max their decks. The only one that's going up in population is the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Now, another funny thing about quality control with this is TCG Player has been forced to make listings for unlimited versions of the cards, not because there's an unlimited print of the structure deck, but because there are misprinted structure decks in such mass that so many people are pulling unlimited versions of the cards in the first edition structure. Great job, Konami. I can't believe that they've actually already had to reactively do this on the page. I do think that Blue Eyes has so much hype that it's going to pretty much take over this market watch. Alistair the Invoker Secret Rare is $15. My Discord was freaking out over this, mainly because people are wanting to play this version of the deck after seeing it have some success, but like, Alistair has a reprint on the horizon that's confirmed, not in the biggest announced place, but on a YCS live stream where they did show the altar art. To be fair, I personally would be selling Secret Rare Alistair even in this art, because first off, you're risking that they don't just do both arts, but second off, the competition from having a reprinted version that looks decent and other rarities that will also replace it as max rarity will help bring the price down. At least it should. Stampede is going to be pre-WCQ, so if you're building that kind of deck ahead, I would think about holding out and maybe even selling these in the meantime. But yeah, people love Invoked Blue Eyes. They have tried to make it a thing before, and here it's actually seeing a little bit of success. Hieratic Seals is way up in price for the quarter century secret rare. This was one of my early calls. I said when it was 8 to 12, I would be getting this pretty much immediately, and here in the quarter century secret rare, it has skyrocketed. But one thing I absolutely love about rarity collections, even the failed ones like 2, look at all these cheap, easy access, nice looking versions, secret rare under $1. Chef's kiss. I hope they continue this model even without quarter century secret rares. I love seeing staple like cards for types, engines, decks, very affordable, then still able to demand a huge price on the other end. In fact, with Rarity 2, I think that's been a ton of cards like Spirit Dragon. Yes, it's come up, and it does seem to have some solid value inside, but just not enough of a decent spread to be a great product like its other 2 competitors in the line, and soon to be Stampede as well. Destruction Sword Memories is going out of quantities, up in price. If you got this common in bulk, you want to be pulling it out. I've got to say, Buster Blader is getting buyouts everywhere. But I'm going to focus the discussion early that it was doing it before any of this Blue Eyes support. I believe it won the San Antonio Regional around 5 months ago and did a little something getting like 5th at another regional 2 or so months ago if you go and look through YouTube deck lists. So this has managed to actually do something without this further support, but it mixes together well, and people are looking for ways to play the deck without spending an arm and a leg on Primite, and here goes the other cheap option because everybody has their hands on structure decks. That's how it works, and then it goes up in price. Destruction Sword of Memories, absolutely way up there. Also Buster Dragon. This was actually something a lot of vendors pointed at when they were baby raging about reprints rooting value forever. They'll never come back up. Well, here we are just 4 years later, and Buster Dragon's above a $5 card once again, and goes from the past being mass ripped open for those hype beast chase, didn't really stop it from being able to come back up in value. Now did it? Now there are exceptions to the rule. This could be one of them, but it does really point at that specific conversation that people were having, that you never know the future of the market when you're speaking out there with your whole chest. It doesn't always permanently ruin the value, and I've been guilty of thinking that some cards would never come back from a certain reprint, but with enough time and enough interest, really shows that they can. Buster Whelp of the Destruction Swordsman is towards $16+. This is the only card we'd already covered out of the archetype going with it. And then Buster Blader, the Destruction Swordsman himself, for the ultra rares, they're both down to under double-digit listings. The speed duel version's even going. And then you have the maximum gold rare, or the ultra rare without foil, as I like to call it, even starting to go down in quantities as people just want access to the engine. And then the fusion, Buster Blader, the Dragon Destroyer Swordsman, also going for its secret rares. Both are above $5 once again. The maximum gold rare is above $1. Let's actually check in on that, because it's the most accessible version. It's pretty much above $2. There's one seller here under $2, 2 of them, and then it quickly goes up from there, so even it is surging. Dominus Purge is a staple that Blue Eyes likes to look at. We talked about it coming back up into the 40s, and now it's starting to breach towards 50. It's at $48. You can see the continuous climb back up, mainly because you can't activate the effects of Dark, Water, and Fire monsters the rest of the duel. Well, A, that's the rest of the duel, it's not previously, and B, Blue Eyes, they don't really care too much about that. There are cards in the extra deck that this goes against, of course, but this is a very powerful card, and Blue Eyes is enjoying it, and it's unlikely to get that reprint in Stampede, even though it can happen because the Mulch armies are up for reprints, right? Like we already know Fulos, so people already assume Perulia, but yeah, this is pretty up there and was kind of expected after the first bump and has almost doubled up since then. Now, I have often called this deck Worst Blue Eyes, but it's getting support in the future. I anger like 5 people every time I call it Worst Blue Eyes. It does something completely different. Is it really? Photons are going up in price. Delta Wing is above $10 and only comes from Maze of Millennia. And now the collector rare is pushing up as well as the ultra rares pushed up into that range. So be aware, Delta Wing is going up in price as people do look forward to that deck support as well. And then we covered 10-Yi buyouts. So everything's like Dragon, Worm, etc. or goes in that realm with the Buster Bladers. 10-Yi Spirit. Okay, I'm murdering it. I'm a YouTuber. I'm trying to read it at value. But this card is way up there for what it used to be. It's towards $2.50 and quickly $3 here on TCG Player as the 10-Yi engine gets a little bit of hype as well. So be aware this has gone up. I think Blue Eyes has really taken over the show, though. It's crazy, the impact, but again, one of the favorite things for people to say, especially that are nostalgic about the game, White Lightning, Blue Eyes, White Dragon. It makes sense that it was going to make a big splash, but being meta relevant as well, yeah, it's going to go past everyone's expectations, including mine so far. If you called it this would be a $100 card, well, let's wait and see. It very well could be hitting that as well. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy these conversations. And let me know what you think. I know it's been a lot of Blue Eyes talk, but it's what's happening on the market.